Hey guys, DLC 2 Guns, Love and Tentacles is now live for Borderlands 3, and a huge shout out to 2K Games. As a 2K collaborator, they sent me an early code so I could play the DLC, so thank you to those guys. In this DLC, you'll be traveling to a new planet called Xylorgos. You'll be getting all new missions and also a ton of new legendary gear. In this video, I'm going to be going over one of the new legendary weapons that is really cool. It's got an awesome effect. It's an assault rifle, and it shoots these ghost skulls. We first saw these ghost skulls in the Bloody Harvest event. They would be flying around, you could shoot them, some of them dropped loot. What looks like they've taken that model and effect and put it inside one of the weapons. I'll show you guys all the stats on this weapon, everything it can do, and then where you can get one. This weapon is picked up from a boss that's much later on in the DLC, so if you don't want that boss or the later on map locations spoiled, then definitely stop the video now. This new legendary weapon is called Soulrender. It's a DAHL assault rifle. I was able to pick up several of them, but here's the one I want to show you guys. It's got a damage of 1040, accuracy 81%, handling of 59%, a reload of 2.2, fire rate of 8.58, and a magazine size of 32. From the ones that I was able to pick up, I've seen radiation, shock, and also incendiary elemental. This one here is radiation. It does 1147 damage per second with a 9% chance. The red text reads, "Picture a soul, now rend that thing," which is referring to the skulls that are coming out of the weapon. Here are some of the other ones that I was able to pick up and how they compare. It looks like all of them will always have a plus 15% reload speed, and then the other modifications will vary. All the ones I picked up did have anointed ability, but I was playing on Mayhem mode 4. The damage with the elemental abilities is around 1000, then the ones without elemental ability are going to get up into the 1500s. Now I'll show you guys some gameplay and show you some of the specifics of what this thing can do, and then I'll show you guys where to get it. So as you're shooting and you have an enemy within your sights or within your screen area, it will fire off these skulls, and the skulls do home in on the target, even if your crosshairs are not on the target. And I'll show you guys more of that in just a moment. If you do not have an enemy within your sights or on your screen, this weapon will not fire off the skulls. As you can see here, I've looked away from that statue, which is considered an enemy, and it will not shoot or fire off the skulls. As far as how strong this weapon is, I didn't find it as strong as some of the other new DLC weapons like this shotgun right here. I've made a previous video about this, but this shotgun absolutely wrecks. It's called the Nothingness. So the Soulrender would not be my go-to weapon if I'm going in and needing a lot of power. If I want something cool to look at, then yeah. And there might be some situations where it does it really well, and maybe a specific loadout will help it. There is one really cool thing about this weapon and the effect of the skulls. You don't have to be targeted in on the enemy. The crosshairs don't even have to be close to the enemy. It just has to be within range, and those skulls will home in and hit that target. Right here I am bouncing around and just randomly shooting in the general direction, and all of the skulls are landing on the target. So that might be one huge benefit to this weapon. As far as where you need to go to farm one of these, there is a specific boss or bosses that drops this. This is going to be a map location that is closer to the end of the DLC called Heart's Desire. I'll show you guys where this is on the map. Now this is a good place to farm. There is a fast travel station where you can restart the game and come back in and farm these guys, but there is not an ammo machine nearby. So when you're on Heart's Desire, this arena where these bosses are to drop this weapon is going to be dead center of this map. And I keep saying bosses because there are two of them. Whenever you drop down right here, you're going to encounter two bosses by the name of Tom and Zam. Both of these guys will drop this new legendary Soulrender, and I farmed them a bunch to see what the frequency would be for them to drop this new weapon. First, I farmed them on Mayhem mode 4, and I killed them 20 times, and out of 20 times I was able to get 5 of these Soulrenders. Then I went and turned Mayhem mode 4 off and didn't have any kind of Mayhem mode on and killed them 20 times again, and I was able to get 9 of these Soulrenders. So I actually got more when taking Mayhem mode off. And that might seem strange, but there's a reason for it. Whenever I was on Mayhem mode 4, that mode increases the quality of the loot. So I was getting a ton of the new DLC 2 legendary weapons in addition to the Soulrender. So it was having to make room for all those additional new DLC weapons, and so it wasn't giving me the Soulrender quite as much. Then when I went in to turn off the Mayhem mode and didn't have any Mayhem mode on, it wasn't giving me any of the new DLC weapons. It was only giving me the Soulrender Soulrender, so there was plenty of room for it to give me a bunch of those and none of the new DLC weapons. So if you're just looking for the Soulrender and you want to farm these guys for that, then turn Mayhem mode off. You'll get a ton of them. But if you're looking for some of the new DLC to legendary weapons in addition to the Soulrender, turn Mayhem mode 4 on. These guys drop a ton of legendary. Also, it seems like with this new DLC too, they've added a lot more legendary than we've ever seen before. It's got to be at least double. But hopefully I covered everything for this, and I hope this helped you guys out, and we'll see you next video.